All right, I believe we are live. This is a bonus to working on the Invoice app that I started 2 days ago, and I need to finish it up so that I can collect my retainers for the month. If you are new to Ruby Thursday and you're just coming on right now, I'll introduce myself again. My name is Melissa Wanish, and I'm the founder of RubyThursday.com. It's a tutorial site for junior Rails developers. And so I can actually hear myself from the computer in the other room. So I know the sound is working. Yay. We will, right now we're live streaming. I'm going to be building little projects. And I thought I'd go ahead and do it live. So I know it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I have not told my list about this. I have not emailed them. But if you are a follower on Twitch, you probably got an email. So, hey, if you're up and you're like, hey, Melissa's on Twitch, maybe I'll go check it out. That's great. Do put comments in there. I will be checking it from time to time, not as much because I don't really expect too many people to be up and about, at least on the East Coast of the US. Maybe some of my European folks will be like, oh, hey, why not? But I am still going to talk as if people are watching, and hopefully I'll remember to do that, and think out loud and everything. We're hopefully just going to be finishing up some key pieces to get this up and running. Just at least for my purposes, we'll keep working on making it so that other people could also use this app. But I just need to get it done so that my September retainers can get paid. I've told everyone, hey, it's coming soon, and they're waiting. So I got to get it done. Here I am, 8 o'clock on a Saturday. All right, so I'm going to transition to the desktop and to show. And now let's minimize. So here we are. There's really only a few tickets left that we really need to get done. And we're currently, what we've done before, let me just review. If you're watching all this straight through, you can speed ahead, but reviewing. So we're making an Invoice app where we're connecting through Stripe. So the platform itself will ask the vendor, that's what we've called it, to connect through Stripe. And first you'll sign up, and then you'll come to a page where you connect through Stripe, and then you'll have a you connected through Stripe page, and then you'll create your first payment link. And we've made what we call an invoice, and right now the only option is for subscription. Most likely soon in the future we'll add a feature where you could have one-time payments or a payment plan. We are taking some inspiration from some other products out there, but it looks like, and it's something we would need for our purposes as well as we work with clients. So, but right now it's just a subscription, monthly subscription. So we're not, there'll be more, these images here have more options to them. We'll add more options later, but right now I'm deciding this is pretty done. We can make a new invoice, and we tested quite a bit, if you see the last video, making sure that when the platform makes that subscription for the connected account, it really happened. And I wasn't getting a lot of feedback on that from the Stripe API, but I pretty tested that pretty well. Just making sure. So if you saw that was quite a bit of yesterday. All right, and we're working now on the client coming to the site and paying. And what we decided that, looking through the Stripe documentation, what we need to save in our database in order to show the vendor information about that subscription. And so we are going to have a model called subscription, and we're going to create that. If we add other kinds of payments, then we'll add those other models as well. Right now it's just subscription. So we're going to make a customer through Stripe, and it'll be Stripe Connect, and we're not managing the account. It's going to be the connected accounts customer. We're not sharing customers because that's another option with Stripe. It's going to be their customer, and it's their subscription. So we're doing it all for them, but we need to do quite a few things with Stripe with making a customer and making a token and all of that. Also, I don't know if it'll be today, but I will live stream this as well. I've been playing around with Rails 5.1. This is my first Rails 5.1 project, and brand new. And I reread again about how to handle JavaScript last night and how it's now being packaged up. And we may take a look at the series we had when I was on maternity leave that our lovely friend Jeff Denton put together, and setting up Webpack to do all that, because I did do a little test deploy last night, got it working, and it's reminding me that I don't have Yarn on the server, and so that's now a part of how the assets get precompiled now. That's the default instead of other ways. So, it'll skip it. It won't give error out on you, but it's good to do that. So, but first, I want to go ahead and get this subscription working without with the basic plan, and then maybe we'll add. Well, I probably should add the Webpacker first to handle some of this JavaScript, but this is new for me in 5.1. But let's remind ourselves where we are. Okay, so we're I don't even have it open, do I? Do I have it open? Yes. I'm on the staging branch because I was playing around with deploying it. And you see I actually got it to go through. I had a few things that I had to work through in deploying it to that server. But let's go ahead and back to master, because that's where I finally fixed it. Let me go back. Check out. Sorry. A little cleanup here. It was it was like 11 o'clock last night, so when I finally got that to go. All right, and what was wrong was I fixed the branch staging. I had copy pasted and it was calling it master, and therefore it wasn't finding the configuration for staging. So I finally figured that out. All right, and good. So now let's check out master. So that's where our working stuff is. And now let's run. Remind ourselves where we are. I believe it's not going to find the form to fill in where we were. And I also read through, again, 5.1 has a new way of writing form 4. It's called form with. And it's a little different. So let's play with it. Let's use it and see what happens. Because it's not going to be it is going to be for the model, to create the model. So we'll do that. Form with, right, unable to find field email. All right, so we're going to play with the form with. I closed that. Did I close it? Is it in the other one? I have two browsers open. Should probably close one. Here's my errors. This I see, because this has the Stripe open. Authorize. Oh, with Invoice app. Okay, so I think I'm just going to close all this. We'll see if we want to open another tab. It's better to have it a little, not quite so much open. All right, and Let's see if the docs have been form width. There's the release notes. Yep, okay. The edge rails has the form width here. Okay. See, it's a little bit different syntax. It's just different because they're making it, instead of having two separate types of helper methods, form for or form tag, they've merged that into form width. So you use form width, and then you have different options. So instead of having two different ones, depending on if you're doing it for a model or, you know, oftentimes search forms won't be attached to a model. You're searching. So that was a form tag. Instead, now they've merged that to be form width. So, oh look, and then they have form width, and then you say the model, right? So let's give that a try here. Form width. Now we're gonna first you can put all kinds of. It seems to say new do, but I assume the @ would work as well, even though that's not. Oh, there we go. Resource oriented form with. There we go. Right. Looking through the different way, form with options. Okay, so I think that's the one we're going to do. We're doing it for a model. Our model is subscription. Reload, yes. Reload everything I changed. Okay, let's get rid of all of it though. Make sure my application YML isn't open before I, let's see, device. We're done with that for now. Oh, my YML is, there we go. We added our subscription. Belongs to Invoice, not vendor. We're gonna have a has many through eventually when we get to showing all of those subscriptions. Let's keep that open. I think our routes are good for now. Here we are. All right, so the invoice name, we're just making, you know, there's going to be more when we put our front end in. There we go. Model at subscription. Excuse me. Let's just make sure again. New. Yep, we have at subscription. And we're going to build a new one. It's going to belong to the invoice. Okay, now I usually just do F. All right, that's a little shorter. And a lot of examples have F. The docs say form, but I think they're just trying to be a little verbose there. Let's now let's have so this would be, oh, okay. So even though it's with subscription, let me look at my example for how to do the Stripe form. Because, oh, well, let's see. Are we going to save the customer's email? I think let's not. Because we can grab that from, we need to save also the customer ID. Did we add that to our, I think we're going to have to add that in a migration. Let me just check here. Oh, hi. Wrong project. That's my example code there. All right. ID for customer. We did. Okay. So that's, we can grab that email from there. So we don't need to save it. So all of that is happening. We're going to put together a token to create that customer. So it needs to be, let's go to the Stripe API. Customers, create a customer. I already had that open. All right, and we're going to create the customer. So we'll need that source obtained with the Stripe.js. Right, so let's go to these docs, and those will have subscriptions. Let's see. More like customers. I want to create the customer. Okay. Source. Yeah, so you would say source. Where's that lovely JavaScript that they have? Okay, well, I must have found that in a tutorial, because what I have is what we do with the form is we don't put the F, we put a tag, and we'll have to see if that continues to work, because we're not saving it to our database. We're actually going to remove it and use it in the token and then remove it from the form is what the JavaScript does. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Views in JS. So let's okay, so we've got our Stripe key form for, you see how it's a text field tag? Right. We're not saving it. We're not doing F. That's okay. So even though it's a form for subscription, we're not actually, the client's not adding information to the form for it. It's a little interesting. But let's add this, because we're going to, set that in our JavaScript as well. Okay, I think we can do it just like this, just like before. And there were other inputs in this example, but let's copy. I'm not taking a zip code. Oh, but I want the please wait. So they get that feedback that they push the button. So let's copy all that. I think we're not taking the zip code. But we are putting in card verification, all of that. Now we need another text field. Because we are collecting the email address. These classes are going to change when I put in the front end, but Stripe, go with email. We'll just go email. A lot of this will probably change All right, but that's what we're going to put in. We need a button. And take a cat file. Complete payment. Oh, we do have the zip. Okay. Well, I copied this. Now I have the design. There we go. All right, and now we have the design, which I need to go and find here. Let's open that up. Did I download it? Yes. Okay, so here we go. This is, we are going to be calling this little app Gig Tilt. And so you're all we have already, which is great. I love using things that aren't being, right now it's forwarding to our main agency site, one from zero. So instead we're going to make it this payment app, this invoice app. So I need to extract this. Let's just put it on our desktop. Let's add a folder just so I can find it. Okay. Show the files. So he made the index right now that he's working on. Todd, my lovely husband who does all of our design, he's working on it to fill it out more, but right now we're just going to have this page that they're going to see. So I wonder why that should be to the side. So my screen is a little bit different size than his, and I also have it generally, I make it bigger. No. Well, that's something we may have to work on fixing, why it's not right next to it, but it should be right next to that. And then here's the information. So this is what the order page is going to look like. Potentially because I'm on Firefox, it's a little off. So some things we're going to have to change or fix up a little bit. That happens when you export the HTML. See what it looks like. So right, we are not collecting the zip code. And I think these will be the example, the product that we're inspired by has options like how much information you want to collect from your customer. So my customers are in the US with me, so I don't need to collect as much. But if we start to have more international companies, and in fact, we did have one who had to pay us by PayPal because it wouldn't work for him through QuickBooks. Then, maybe this would work instead. So we would need to collect some more information because if you're in a different country, and I've learned this with Bera, yay all my international students, sometimes it's more difficult to pay if you don't collect more information. The banks, especially in South America, have quite a few. I get denied quite a bit there. So if I had a bigger team, I'd probably investigate more ways to solidify payment from international. But right now, it's been helpful just to collect more information. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're not going to have that address. So looking at my design, let's go back here. So save that and let's take that out. We're not doing that, but we are doing the rest of it. And this is a test number provided by Stripe. All right, so let's go ahead and you may hear my daughter grumbling just a little bit. That's okay. So let's see where we are now that we've put those forms in, those line items. Right, undefined method subscriptions path. All right, because we haven't set up the create method yet. So it found all the fields, which is great. And so let's set up that create method. Let's just put in enough so that it will make it, but there's no payment going on yet. All right, we're just making sure the model happens and the fields are all there. So create. All right, and we're gonna need the only params that really are gonna happen here, because all of it's really happening through Stripe, is that invoice ID that we want to come in. So this is we do that for, yeah, there you go. Commit. And this is subscription params. And we really only have the invoice ID. Everything else that's coming is going to be set after we communicate with Stripe. So we are going to build it again, but this time with our subscription params. We may add more things, so go ahead and build it the correct way. We could probably just do this, would be fine, but how are we setting invoice? I think it's the same deal. It's a nested resource to create it as well. All right. Close my routes, but I think that's, we put in the create as well. Sorry. There we go. Routes. Only new and create right now. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's so we're going to redirect to a thank you page. So it's not really a show page or an index. It's really kind of a special confirmation page. So let's call it a confirmation page. So we'll do a special route for that. So it will be it's going to be, I believe it's like this: confirmation invoice subscription path, because it's nested at invoice at subscription. Notice, I don't think we're going to have a notice. It's just going to be what it is there. It says it right there on the page. Thank you. And we're going to go with subscription. All right, see how that, oh, subscription. So should fail here is where we're at. Let's see if we get to that point. Something is unhappy. In quotation marks. Interesting. Nothing's on the page. So we step backwards. Probably. Now, why isn't it showing like an error page? All right, so we're not using JavaScript yet. Let me take the JS_True out. Do I have JS_True? Yes. Let's take that out for now. Let's see if that shows us an error page, probably. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, what line? It is line 13, has an error. Okay. Aha! Missing the ending. Parentheses. It saddens me a little bit with JS_True that it didn't show me the error page, but we'll get it going here. Okay, wait, we're back to the same issue. Oh, it's nested resource. It's not just at subscription. Right, it's at invoice. Let's see if it gives us... Here we go. For namespace routes, or... So I think, like everything, the parent goes first. That's what I kept repeating to myself yesterday. So, I'm sorry. So it's in parentheses, and then it's in an array like it was before. All right, and so just making sure form width. And then we have at invoice. And end. Okay. I think that looks the same. Okay. Nope. Let's see. Expected T label. Okay. How do we... Okay, so you know what? That's not... We're not dealing with that yet. Let's get... it just created. Then we'll add the JavaScript. Okay, so let's just get... It's hard to focus on one thing at a time. It's really hard, especially when you're working from you know, a finished example. Value is empty. It is. Why is it empty? So line, it's pointing us to line 24. saying it's empty. It's because there's kind of nothing going on there. All right, let's see what's coming in. Again, I'm working with the new sorry, it's way down on the screen. Here we go. Let's look what is nil. Why is that? Because the invoice ID is coming in. Permitted false. Well, it's also going to submit the form through JavaScript. It's going to take all of that and do something different with it. I would like to know why it's saying nil. What do we have, an add invoice? Yes. All right. Right, that's all happens. Let's we had at invoice that it found it. Let's go back to the docs, make sure. Oh, well, here's the HTML options. Should have been inside of params. Oh, these are just other form helpers. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm kind of wondering if this is really the problem to be working on, since the form's actually going to be submitted really through the JavaScript. So we're going to take all that information, make it into a token, and then put it in. I want to test out something, though. I want to play with this new form with. Let's just pretend for now ID for customer. I'm sorry. Text field. Oh, well. Yeah, text field. For customer. This is just a test. I'm not gonna keep it like this, but I just am curious why it wasn't working. Want to make sure. Maybe because it's blank, nothing's coming in. Just means we may need to figure this out a little bit. But let's see. Because we're not really collecting anything. But I just want to see if this works. Or have something in the form. Or if I've written the form incorrectly. Because it's a new way of writing the form. So I want to make sure I'm getting that part right. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. So it was because there was like nothing entered. So we'll just keep that in mind as we go through the process, because I would like to have basically, everything that's being entered is going to become part of a token. So we'll see what that does. But so I'm gonna take this out now because we're not doing that. I just wanted to make sure that the form itself was written to what I think is correct. So let's take that back out. Now let's put in the JavaScript. All right. So save. So let's go back to our example app. And now we've learned that this needs to go inside of this parentheses. Okay. All right, and we're going to need some flash messages because if there's anything wrong with Stripe, what I have for examples will show up in these flash messages. So here we need to include oh, and we don't have this yet. Do we have this yet? I may have because of creating. Yes. Okay. Right, because yesterday we saw that we need both of these. Because this handles more the money flow, and this handles Saturday morning handles the authentication. All right, so we've got all that going on. So this, and maybe we'll refactor this and see if it's different now that I don't think so, but we'll see. I'm going to just include that at the bottom of the layout. Oh, I'm still in the example app. Oh. Okay. This is all the... It really simplified the basic layout. All right. Yeah, so what else are we doing? ID stripe errors. Okay, so if there's no JavaScript, if they've disabled JavaScript for some reason, then they cannot fill out this form. I do have a friend who like disables it automatically and then has to enable it for every site that needs it, which is a little cumbersome because most sites have JavaScript now. But sure why I have the binary. I think that was just for the purposes of the demonstration there. Okay, so we're going to here. We've built it. Okay. So we are going to have some trouble potentially because I'm not collecting anything that we're saving. I could have a hidden field with just the invoice ID again, even though it's built into the form. We could save the customer's email address. I mean, we are going to be saving email addresses in general, so our terms of service will have to, address that we're collecting personal information and we're not sharing it and that it's secure. So I think we might do that for ease of trying to get this up and running. But it's interesting that if a form comes in completely blank, then this is nil, right? Nothing came in on the form, and so this is nil, and so it's saying you can't do that. It's interesting. There's probably a workaround, but I don't have time for that. So let's, we're not doing that anymore, but let's do customer email. And we're going to save that too. So I need to add a migration. Git. Well, so we'll call it add customer email to subscription. Okay, we'll add a column, customer email, and as a string. We'll migrate. And then, again, for test, just for me, change the form. Let's close that. So instead of this, it's going to be F. And it's not going to have that. Well, let's see. We'll leave it for now. Might take that out. All right, and let's go back to that. Okay, so because the Browns are going to have a Stripe token that we're going to use to create the customer. So if we go to our example app, here we go. Now this will be a little bit different because we're creating well, no, we'll have the token. Right. The next part is different. Okay, let's create, all right, let's, jQuery. See, this is jQuery. We may need to add that to our list. I don't know if I want to see if somebody has written it differently. With Webpack. Basically, I think it's what I'm trying to... Okay. Okay, having trouble. We do have that source. Okay. Okay. Found this and this. Okay. Okay, well, I'm trying to see if somebody said, you know, rewritten not to use jQuery. Oh, V3. This is right. We are in V3 now. Good call. Good call. Uh-oh, my example code may need to change there. This version. Oh. Uh-oh. Things have updated. That's right. Stripe did a fairly major update. I believe it was April, May. This version of Stripe uses a different method than Stripe 2. Learn how to switch. Well, it's brand new here now, so I'm gonna have to follow. All right, confession. JavaScript is not my favorite. I think, although they have this link, how to migrate elements. What are elements different? How are elements? What do they do? What do they do? Why are they different? Elements, yeah, that's new. elements, fonts, family, source, style, weight. I don't think these are things I need. That's good. I wonder why the original tutorial why you loaded on every page, but there you go. Uh-oh, you need both? Well, I don't know which feature. We'll have to see if it breaks if I need both. But let's right now just use version 3 because I'm actually going to, if you were watching earlier, you saw me using my Ruby Thursday Stripe account to be like the platform, but we're actually going to create another platform for GigTilt, right? Another account for GigTilt to be the platform. So that'll definitely be on the new API version for them. So, and we should use the newest and latest, right? So let's, back to our V3. May have to put in V2 as well. We'll see. So back to our docs. Convert our exam. So I think maybe this is more for if you're using their CSS. Yeah, I think this is if you're using their CSS and their design. So I think I don't do any of that. Here we go. The thing is if I want to use jQuery or not. This is using plain JavaScript. I think I'm going to try not to use jQuery because that's, Rails is moving away from jQuery back to plain old JavaScript. And then it's being, I guess, managed whatever with Webpack. Or that's an option to do. If we have issues, I will have to work through them. I think we're going to make it a plain JS. But here's what I remember happening. Oh, I see. You can make it instead of okay, I think I'm seeing what's happening in the form. Instead of using this data stripe, stripe element will be inserted here. Let's read this. To use elements you create on instead of directly using DOM inputs. Okay. Right, at the div level, not the input level. Insert UI component within your elements. Insert a stripe hosted UI component within your container. Migrating to elements allows you to make use of the card element. This flexible UI component simplifies your form by minimizing the number of fields you need, requiring much less markup. Again, I'm marking it up separately. Yeah, it's using it's if you just want to say, hey, you give me the how it looks. That's what it's doing. Okay. So I'm not using elements. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's make our file. It's still going to be in its own file. That we're going to call creditcard.js. Oh, did not copy it. Let's not make it jQuery and see what happens. I may just put it in for time's sake. I'm reading through here. What's it? Disable true. Okay, right. I'm going to put in the wait message that is right here. Put that in. Oh, let's save it. So it's there. Okay. Function. Token. We're not going to be using the address. See, and we have flash messages it'll put in there. Okay, other than taking out jQuery, this seems like the same to me. We'll have to see. Let me just look at the docs again. Does this have the full thing listed out? Let's see. Tree source. Oh, you can change the card element. Again, I just am not using that element thing. Okay. So we're creating a token. No, it's not created. Oh, let's see. I'm just seeing if this is exactly what I have here. This is what we were looking at before. We already have this open. Is it gonna make me? Oh, here it is. Right. Oh. Is it gonna make me? um. Now. It looks like this. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm just thinking about how I have just about 25 minutes left until I need to stop. And so migrating. Okay, so might look like this. All right, it does, very much so. A little bit different, but it looks like that. All right, form, yep. 2 key changes need to be made. Pass the create token method to a Stripe element as its first argument instead of a form or values. Make use of the elements API to simplify the response handling logic. So this happens up here. And then we create this. This is how it looks different to me. Card, because we're basically creating a card element. All right. Then we handle this elements comes with built-in formatting and masking for all inputs. Card elements can be customized to fit perfectly within your checkout page. For instance, you can make sure that the font style is correctly by providing some additional options when creating the component. So I can get all of that. Elements demo. Let's look at a demo. Here's the result. Okay, here's the HTML. Where do you use that? Yeah, well, you don't put your token right there. That's kind of weird. Ah, but here's a full-on example. Yes, I want to see all 76 lines. I'm looking at outcome. Okay, this is a bit different. Questions, yeah. Okay. To the card element div. Did I see this in that HTML? Where's the card element div? The whole thing in one? I don't see one that says card element div here, guys. Oh, there we go. It's actually below. So cardholder name is probably one of those elements. Do we have that still open? Element types, card, postal code. All the style stuff you can do with it. Wide call. So is cardholder name not in card? Well, what does card have on? Single line input that collects all necessary card details. So all those things. So card, that's the card. So I guess if you're also collecting cardholder name, then is that this one? Or where were we? I agree. Okay. So we're going to what they do, cardholder, card, extra details, card, and then extra details. Oh, here we go. Very extra details, cardholder name. Okay. So card, again, has everything in that list there. Card data can have the different stuff. Okay, if we were collecting address zip, it would be in card data instead. Ooh, isn't part payments fun? Okay. Especially when it changes from, a nice little tutorial that I went through, what now, a year and a half ago maybe. It's old code. It's got to be updated. So this time I'm more figuring it out for myself from the docs here. It changed. Oh, this was V2, right? So that's V2. That's what I remember all happening, right? Okay. So instead of all of the, okay, does it say we're step by step here? Let's go back to step 1. Okay, so we're going to, I don't need a label for the card element. Now we do need the email. Oh, well, we're capturing that separately. So actually that ended up being a good choice because I actually don't see like customer email here happening. There's the name of the person, cardholder name, because it's everything with the card, not necessarily creating a customer. So it's creating charges. Well, down here is sources and customers. Do they say how to put that in the elements thing? To a customer for a rate later. I think you just collect, all right, Ruby. You put that in the API call and you've tokenized their source, which is the card. Okay. So, yay. that I decided to do that because that's coming true now. All right, so let's hear. So basically it's saying all of this, and this is why they did this, right? So all of this goes away. And instead you have this. That is what it's saying. And then you style that through JavaScript. Okay. Now there's, okay. It feels, oh, it's different. It's different. Okay, let's go back to migrating. Okay, so, I think we need to have this. We're gonna follow these. I'm gonna leave that there for now, but I'm gonna put the top. I don't know why they have it at the bottom. That's my feedback. Why is it at the bottom? Well, I guess I could see it in the example. What it would look like. Sorry, we have fruit flies. Okay. I don't think. That we need this guy in here. Oh, this is my test. Thanks. Oh. I think if we keep it a capital S instead we may not need to put this line in. Let's see what the stripe gem has. Stripe. It may just say, hey, I'm putting it in here, but let's see if it's got some information on here. All right, so that's all the API calls. Oh, well, I see. I set that here. But instead, let's follow the example here. We're going to need to make the file ERB as well, though. If we've put in the, obviously we need to hide the live test key, or I'm sorry, the live publishable key. So is it collecting the postal code? That's a good question. Todd worked so hard on this, but I think I need to add a postal code. Let me look at the example again down here. Oh, no, it doesn't. It just has name, phone number, credit or debit card. So, wow. That's some fancy stuff going on in this form. Oh, thanks. Lots of validations. Okay. 902. Oh, sorry. 22, 23, and then it makes you put in the zip. Is that what's gonna happen? Oh. Or is that special for what they've put together? Is focus. Right. It goes as it focuses, it's going along. Set outcome. I don't want to do all that. I don't want to collect the zip. Maybe I have to. Let's find out. Stripe elements don't collect. Oh, well, maybe I have to not use the card. Just the card thing, but use each individual thing. Yeah, that's what I have to do. So instead of a card element, right? This example uses card elements. Collect all cards using a single element. Stripe recommends that you use the card element, but you can also use the individual card number, card CVC, card expiry, and postal code. So because we're only doing these, Do I already have that open? Is it the same? Aha. So I can use right. All this stuff. So I can have hide postal code true and still use the card, basic card deal. Element. Okay, so leave that alone. I'm getting a little lost. Okay. All right, so we changed our form. Oh, it's starting from up here. Okay, we got that. We did the form. All right, now we were loading it on the page. But it's going. This example is going to use a var and stripe with the lowercase. What does my code currently do? Stripe capital. All right. I think we're really gonna just do this. We'll deal with the variable later. All right. So how do I put in the options? I know I probably have this open, but example. Card. And then let's look at the example. And then we put this, and then we can do stuff. Okay, so we need card. Here. Let's close our... Oh, over here. And would be hide postal code. True. Oh, I don't need that. It's in the hash, right? Right. Now I'm sure I'm gonna have some styling things, but right now we'll just do this. Hide postal code true. Okay, let's go back to migrating. Okay, we put some options in. Okay, here we go. Okay, so using elements to collect payment information, very similar to your current approach. The difference is that you're passing a stripe element to the appropriate method rather than a form or set of input fields. Right, that's what we're doing different. Current payment form submission might look like this. It looks pretty similar, a little different from the example I used. When switching to elements, 2 key changes need to be made. Pass the create token method a stripe element as first argument instead of a form or values. Make use of the elements API to simplify the response handling logic. Okay. Okay. Okay, so our ID is different. It's credit card form. Okay. Create token. Car, then function. If form. Error. Card errors. And that's what we just put. Okay. As opposed to flash messages. Let's do it. Now it's, we'll have to see what it looks like up here. We could always move it. Okay, and then create token when form is submitted. Listener submit and create token. So it's going to go here and then go here. It's going to submit the form now. So we don't have to do all that. But can we? I need that stripe token for my controller. Does it tell us how to do that? Elements includes a real-time input validation that helps facilitate your user's checkout flow, increasing conversion. If you're not doing any validation today, you can just rely on the default visual validation indicators of elements to alert users of errors. That was kind of nifty, I have to say. Elements also provide special information about validation errors in real time, helping you communicate them to your users. Okay. So if we go down here again to our example, wait, is this the example? No. Yeah, it has an example. Result. Tab. So I put it down here. Why not put it up there? Let's look at our, where should we put it? Where should we put it, guys? I haven't checked and see if anyone's like said anything in a while. And it's totally fine. I may be doing this all by myself here on this Saturday morning. and that's totally fine. But I just need a slight mental break. It's more of a design question. I guess we can always move it. I'm just making sure I don't have any... Oh, it's refreshing, so I may not see any texts. Welcome to the chat room. That's sort of a sad thing about... Not sad, but I just... If I don't have this page up when I start going and it refreshes, I may lose stuff. So, but I believe my lovely hubby is looking at it now and would tell me if I missed something. Back here. Okay, so let's... I think we got a lot of the pieces in place. Where were we? Migrating. Okay, so wherever that message is, we can add this. And where did they add that? I don't want to do that. That moves it along, right? The outcome. Where did it just have that? Okay, well, let's just card.mount. All right, well, let's just use... Let's just use this. And we'll just add it down there. Did it have a... No. Let's make a note, and this shows errors on input. Okay. All right. So the one thing, a piece I feel, okay, so I'm going to style later, blah, blah. The piece I feel like is not happening. All right, so we were showing errors differently. No. What if it goes to Stripe and then comes back? So we still do need that. Ah, dang it. Let's go back here. Z. Because if it goes away, you know, and there's not money left, right? It's not going to know that until it submits the form. And we try to make a customer and all that. I feel like it's not, I do need some kind of if response.error. Display error, great. If result doesn't message. Inform the user if there was an error. Okay, so that's where it would be here as well. Okay. When it tries to create the token, it can't create the token at all. It comes back. Okay, all right, then we are fine to delete this. Okay, we're doing it in that spot. So no more flash messages. We'll potentially have to style that as well. But how do I get the Stripe token to go to my controller? That is... So what it's going to do is it's going to disable... it's not going to... What it's doing is... Var hidden endpoint, create input... hidden input set attribute value token.id. Hidden input set attribute. So it's doing it. It's setting a hidden input type name stripe token. So they've made it like this. So that's the name. Because it's JavaScript. Okay. So instead of like that, it'll be like this. And the value is the token ID. Yeah. Child hidden input. Okay. Insert token into the form so it gets submitted to the server. Just read the notes, Melissa. And that's all we need. The only other thing is what does the, I guess it disables the, it's handling the error. Is it disabling the button and has like a waiting message? Oh, well, you know what? We have the example right here. Okay, so yeah, Jane Doe. Oops, Jane does. Jane does. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is not enough characters now. How do we go back? One, 1, 1, 2, 2. That's probably a real zip code. Yeah, but it didn't have any kind of like, yay, you've submitted it message, which is the thing they're missing. So can I add that? This disabled true, so they don't hit it twice, right? That's not good. Wait, message show. Again, this is all written in jQuery. The $sign. Token handler. Add listener. Okay, form, add listener, submit function AE, prevent to create tokens. So you can create. So when. Got it. So how can we add. Form. Can we do this, guys? Let's see. Well, it's a plain old. So when it submits, I want it to prevent default. Is that where it would go? Wish some JavaScript people were watching. If I wanted to find function E. Find prop. Let's try. It's 10 o'clock, guys. Uh-oh. I really have to go. Let's see. I want this to happen too. Alright. That's the thing it's not doing in there. And I'm not sure I've written this correctly. Alright? We may have to work on that. I think everything else it's doing. So let's get rid of it. That's all jQuery. We want just plain old JavaScript. Yay, plain old JavaScript. Okay. That's That's what's happening there. I feel like this is something that you can't really do in the test environment, or by running a test like this. You could more, actually, if you were using Selenium, you could stop the test and look at it and play around, or watch it happen. Let's just leave it like this. I may have to manually test this. But the next step, once you get the token, right? Once you get the token, hopefully that is what we've put together. Taking a while there, but once you get the token. Oh, and I don't have all this written out. Oh, sadness. All right, sorry. My reminder is showing up to stop. The next thing would be to add the token. And that is with the API. Where's the API? So the source is that token. So we're going to create. This is the next thing that we're doing. Interesting. Customer 4. Oh, okay. And then it has the email address. Okay. That's where we're going to go next. But not right now, because I have to go, because I'm talking to my client, or a client here in half an hour, and I need a little break. So, I don't know when I'll be on next. And you'll probably be watching this after the fact anyway. But have a great day. I'm going to see you all later.